Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and yes, we're doing another video while driving, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Rivian brand, and more specifically the R1T and the R1S, right? The R1T is the truck, the R1S is the SUV, hence T and S, right, in the names. But as always, before we get into this topic, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get right into the video. So if you guys follow the main channel, you know that I just reviewed the new Rivian R1T, and this is the first time I've ever reviewed a fully electric vehicle and wanted to buy it afterwards. I was like, this is such a cool vehicle. It's fast, it's fun, it has off-road capability, and it's got a ton of cool features you can add to it from the factory that make it even more capable off-road and, kind of like camper friendly, if that makes sense. And so I'm just thinking, like, as someone who loves to off-road all the time and likes to go on, camping adventures and everything, which I haven't done in such a long time, but you know what, we're getting back into that. I'm like, you know what, the R1T might be the vehicle to do that with because of the size and all the stuff that you can get from the factory. But then I did the build and price on the truck, and it came out to about $110,000. Now the one that I reviewed was like $85,000, I think, for the sticker price, roughly. And then I started looking into the news, and I see that Rivian raised their prices by like $20,000 plus on all of their vehicles. The R1T and the R1S, which is the only two vehicles I have right now. Obviously, that's because of supply chain constraints and the increase in cost for certain materials with electric vehicles. So I understand why they raised the price, but it's going to cause some issues for Rivian, because at $70,000 to $80,000, the R1T and the R1S are an amazing value. Like, seriously, fully electric truck or SUV with that much power, that much range, that much capability. It's such a good value, and so it makes someone like me that is really off-put by like off brands to actually consider them, right? Because I'm like, okay, you know what? If something breaks on it, it's going to take a while to get it fixed because they don't have the service infrastructure as like a name brand, right? But again, if it's inexpensive enough, then it makes sense. Well, now that they're over $100,000 for an equally loaded one after the price increase, it just doesn't make sense anymore. And so I think that this is going to cause Rivian some issues over the long term, because now it's in the same price range as like the new Hummer EV. And if you ask someone, hey, would you rather drive around this, again, truck from a brand that is just releasing vehicles for the first time, or would you rather drive, this iconic vehicle from a brand that's been making vehicles for like literally over a century? People are going to pick the manufacturer that's been making vehicles for over a century, and frankly, a vehicle that has a way stronger name brand, right? Hummer versus Rivian R1T. And so, yeah, it's a little bit disappointing that the price has increased that much. Again, I understand why they're doing it, but again, you have to look at this from a consumer standpoint. Consumers really don't care why the price increases. They just care that the price is more money, right? And so I think that Rivian's still going to sell vehicles, but I think what's going to happen is they're going to have the initial group of people that are getting these trucks at the lower price, and they're all going to, keep their orders, and, some people are going to flip them, obviously, because now there's going to be crazy, values on these vehicles used. But then the next wave of people that are looking at Rivians, like me, that was like, okay, I want to drive the vehicle first to see if the fit and finish is nice, to see if it drives well, are now going to probably look past the brand, because we're like, oh, I thought this was going to be a $70,000, $80,000 vehicle, not a $100,000+ vehicle. Pass, right? And I know that I'm not probably like perfectly representative of the people that are looking at Rivians, but like I feel like I represent a pretty like large demographic of people that look at it and go, this would be such a cool adventure vehicle, great daily driver. And again, I can look past the fact that I'm not going to have the same servicing I would get with a larger manufacturer because the price is lower. But yeah, with all that gone, it's like I think that this is going to cause the number of people looking into Rivian to just, I don't think it's going to increase. I think it's going to decrease. That's my guess. Hopefully I'm wrong. But I want you guys to let me know what you think about this, and that'll sum things up.